Hey beautiful beaders, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com. It is Tuesday, February 19th, and this is another finished jewelry update. Real quick, I just want to give a quick welcome to all of my new subscribers and viewers. There's been so many of you recently, so I'm so grateful to have you and thank you for joining us. I like to do a lot of subscription unboxings on my channel, and I not only like to unbox those subscription boxes, but I like to come back and show you guys some of the things that I've made with the beads and findings that I've gotten in these boxes, not to show off what I've done, but to hopefully give you guys some inspiration and ideas on all the different things you can do with all these beads and findings. So I'm not over here just hoarding beads, well, not completely anyway, but I am actually putting out finished projects, and I hope these videos are helpful. In addition to showing you what I've made, I also like to give you the details about my pieces and information on my inspiration and what I used. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about the February dollar bead box. If you hadn't seen that unboxing yet, I will try to link that in the corner and you can check it out. But I've been having a lot of fun doing this lately. I decided to use as many of the beads and findings that came in that box as inspiration as possible, and I completed about 9 different projects that I'm going to share with you guys today. I even had beads left over, so technically I could have done more. Also, I just want to mention real quick that these are not pieces that are 100% from the materials in the box. These were pieces inspired by things in the box, and I used as many materials from the box as I could. So I don't want to mislead anybody. This is a way to combine what came in the box mostly, but also using things that I had in my stash. So the first thing I want to show you that you've been looking at is this 3-strand necklace that I made, and you guys might remember that these copper connectors came in the box this month. They were so pretty, but you could use them for chandelier earring findings. I decided to use them as connectors for this 3-strand necklace, and I just continued in the copper theme. I went through my beads and findings, and I had a lot of these cute little copper leaves from another subscription box. Thought they went really well. I thought they added a nice embellishment here at the bottom, not just doing 3 strands of strung beads, but added a little bit of dimension to that. I also found these copper colored druck beads, or round check glass beads, which a lot of these, you'll notice, I tried to use things from the past dollar bead boxes or dollarbeadbox.com, their website shop. That way, you know, some of you who have been subscribed to that box for a little while, you may have some of these things already, but these are basically just 4mm fire polish beads. These are those gorgeous crystal copper lined beads we've gotten in the past, and some different shades of like antique copper and some brighter copper as well. And then I just included some copper chain that I had in my stash that coordinated very well. And to go with that necklace, I went ahead and made a pair of earrings, and again just used a couple of those little leaves that I had in the copper, and then used some of the beads that were from the necklace and incorporated those into the earrings, and I think they came out really cute. So this is my first piece inspired by this month's box. Next, I have 2 pairs of earrings to show you. The first one is this one right here, so going along the kind of connectors theme. So they had included these antique brass connectors in the box, and we had gotten these before, I think in like a silver color, and I actually hadn't used them yet. But there's all different things you can do with these, and you know, my first instinct was to use them in a necklace similar to what I just showed you, but as connectors. But I wanted to do something different. I had seen a photo somewhere, and it's been so long I don't remember exactly where I saw it, but basically somebody had taken connectors just like this, and they did like a loop of beads, so not chandelier style like I did, but they did like a loop going from one side to the other, and it was beaded. It was pretty cool. So anyway, I didn't do that, but I did think, let me use them for earrings and do something a little different. There's just so many different holes on these connectors, you can really do a lot with them. So I just did some wire wrapping, and I strung on some of those pretty light blue druck beads that came in the box, as well as some of these crystal clear fire polish that were from the box, and then I just added some antique brass spacer beads to the bottom from my own stash that coordinated with these connectors. So I think they came out really cute. I'm really happy with these as well. The next pair of earrings, you guys might remember that strand of owl beads that we had gotten. There were 3 different colors, and they were so cute. And I was saying, you know, we'd gotten some elephants in past boxes, which were great. I thought that those were adorable, but it was so much fun getting a new critter to play with. So we got owls this month, and one of the colors they sent was these beautiful black owls with this silver wash. So I ended up separating out all the colors and not using them all together, but I liked these with those silver kind of crinkly looking, almost aluminum foil-ish English cut beads that they had sent. They sent a strand of those silver ones. They were so pretty, and I really wanted to show off the shape and the shine on those, so I decided to wire wrap them on some of these teardrop bindings that I had. And we had also gotten these, the larger fire polish silver beads in the box as well, so I used those to add a little bit more interest to it and not just do the same size all the way around. And if you're a newer beader and you're not sure how, I do have a video tutorial that I've done on how to wire wrap findings like this, so I'll try to link that in the corner as well if you're interested on learning that technique. So that was the second pair of earrings that I made. Next, I'd like to show you a very simple bracelet. So this is a bracelet using these larger kind of crinkly, what I'm calling aluminum foil type beads. We had gotten these in a different subscription box several months ago, at least I did, and somebody had made the comment that they looked like little mini foil wrapped baked potatoes that you see sometimes in a restaurant, so we had a good chuckle over that. But they're really pretty. I really like them a lot, but they do kind of have that look to them. They have a really neat texture. So anyway, I was making those earrings and I thought about these beads right here, and I liked the combination of these light blue colors with the silver. I also had some of these fire polish beads left over, so I decided to kind of pull together some of the light blues and silvers that I had left from the box to make a very simple right angle weave type bracelet. So I didn't use a pattern or anything. You know, you guys, I've been beading for over 20 years, so in most cases I just kind of can draw inspiration from various places, from a picture even, and kind of sit down and lay things out and just kind of put it together on my own. So if I do ever have a tutorial that I've made something from, you better believe I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to let you know if I'm inspired by a certain image or if I follow a tutorial. I'm going to leave that link down below, because as an artist, I take it very seriously, giving credit where credit is due. And I do have two necklaces that I'm so excited to share with you that I did use tutorials to help me out with. But in this case, this is just a basic right angle weave, and it's just something I played around with and was able to put together. Here's what that bracelet looks like on. I really like the way it shows off those silver beads. So the next thing I want to show you is another necklace. And you guys might remember we had gotten that really cool ceramic focal bead in the box, and it's really asymmetrical. It's really chunky. It had different tones in it. Mine has like a lot of gray and tan and beige, and the base of it is kind of this cream color. So I decided to make a really neutral kind of opera length tassel necklace, and I just used some of this chain that I had gotten recently from bbcraft.com, and I had shared that haul with you guys previously, and I had mentioned I had gotten this chain and I hadn't read it very clearly. I thought the chain, based on the picture, was going to be quite a bit bigger, and it ended up being really fine and tiny, which was totally fine. But what I did was I just ended up cutting it into strips, and then I added it to a bead cap and turned it into a tassel. So I think it looks pretty neat, and I like doing that with these big chunky focal beads because it's a great way to show off these beads and incorporate them in a necklace. So then I just beaded a small portion of this upper part and then added some stainless steel chain on the top, but I did use more of those silver fire polish beads that we got, as well as these drucks that we had received. I think these were called maybe smoky quartz, I can't remember, but we received this strand in the box this month as well. So I decided to put those together and just kind of make a neutral type necklace that would go with both silver and gray tones, as well as tan, as well as, you know, other multicolored clothing. So then I just added the chain on the back of this, the back end, like I said, and made a nice long necklace out of it. Oh, and before I forget, I do want to mention that anything you see here today, or in any of my videos for that matter, pretty much anything you see is for sale, and I do have people ask me that, so I just want to mention that if you don't see something on my website yet, it's because I'm probably in the process of getting it listed. So feel free to reach out to me on any of my social media or through email if there's something that you're interested in purchasing, and I can get that listing up for you right away. So next, before I forget to, let me address the ring that I have on my finger. So this is one of the pieces that I made as well. Again, this I just made through trial and error and just by playing with these beads on my bead mat. Again, this is just a very simple right angle weave type stitch. And then I decided to add these little daisy spacers that we had gotten on the top like this. So I didn't use them as actual spacers. I wanted to show them off as little flowers because I really enjoyed the bright purple color and thought they would be cute. They're so small. I thought they would make a cute little ring. And then I just kind of went around and added some of these iridescent beads to kind of give it the look of little leaves around the flowers. The next item is a necklace I'm excited to show you, and this one I did use a tutorial which was fantastic on how to bead around a 12mm Rivoli. So this crystal inside with this little pointed top, it's actually a Rivoli or Rivoli style crystal, so it doesn't have a hole and it's something that you bead around. And I was able to use 15-0 size seed beads in the gold as well as 11-0 gold delicas to do the initial beading around. And I will share that tutorial down below. In my notes, it looks like it is a artist named Viktoriya Antipova, so definitely check out her tutorial if you'd like to learn more about how to bezel around a Rivoli such as this. And then I just did my own thing. I kind of went crazy and I went around the bezel with different beads. I used, again, beads from this month's box. I used more of those Drux and then these 3mm fire polish beads. And I actually made it so that this top layer kind of sat up a little bit, which I thought was kind of cool, and then did another outer layer of beads. So this was just, again, a result of playing around and trial and error that I was able to do once I had the initial beaded base on there. So I think it came out really nice. And then I just added a fine gold tone chain, and to make it a little bit more interesting, I did add some wire wrapped fire polish beads and some of those other beads that I'd used in the necklace as well. So I think it was fun getting one of those crystals to work with. This was a Swarovski crystal, so it was very, very nice. And it was fun to do something a little different. These dollar bead boxes, if you haven't seen the unboxings yet, definitely check them out because they're pretty interesting. They send a really interesting mix of beads. So a lot of times you'll see bead subscriptions send things based on a theme. Dollar bead box doesn't really follow a theme, and you get a lot of very unique pieces to work with. So it was interesting doing something new with this one as well. The next necklace I want to show you I'm really excited about too, and this one I used an awesome tutorial that I found on Pinterest. There was actually a link to a YouTube video, and it was by somebody called Lan Anh Handmade, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I apologize if I'm not, but I will leave the link to that tutorial below. But isn't this cool? This is that star. It was called the Peacock bead, and I wire wrapped it just like she shows in the video with 4mm crystal bicones that I know a lot of us beaders have in our stash. So I just used some 26 gauge copper wire that I had, but I thought it was a really cool way to make this flat check glass large bead into a focal that also kind of showed off the star design, and I'm so pleased with how it turned out. I think it is a really different and fun way to use a bead this shape, so I was so excited to find something like this and to be able to follow her tutorial and put it together. And again, I just added some copper chain from my own stash to complete the necklace, and how cool is that? It's just so unique. Alright, so the final thing I have to share with you guys today is this owl bracelet, and this is something I came up with completely on my own just through playing around, which I love to do. Basically, we had gotten these were the two other colors of owl beads that came on that strand, and I loved the way they looked together. They both had the gold wash, so I thought they coordinated really well. And then I was looking on my acrylic rack on my wall, which is not to go off on a tangent, but if you want to see that video, I'll try to link it up in the corner as well. It's just a way that I do my bead storage and organization with beads like this that I don't want to forget that I have. And so I'm able to kind of organize it by color. And in fact, I've actually gotten another acrylic rack since I did the video because I love them so much. But I'm able to match up beads like this with other beads that I'm getting in, and I can easily see what colors I have and what I have on hand. Otherwise, I had gotten these previously months ago from the Dollar Bead Box or their website, and I would have forgotten about them. There's just no way I would have been able to keep track of all these if I'd stored them away. So anyway, I laid them out. I was playing with my bead board, and I loved the way that these turquoise beads, these table cut beads, looked with the owls. I thought they looked really nice. And then I decided to incorporate some other fire polish beads that coordinated in that beautiful turquoise color and some gold seed beads. I had laid out these owls. I knew that I didn't want to just string them horizontally. I wanted to do something different with them and really show them off. So I had them sitting on my bead board, sitting vertically like this. I knew I wanted to turn them into a bracelet. I didn't know how it was going to come together. I tried one thing. I had to take it all apart because it didn't work. Then I tried something else and it started to come together, and then I really liked it, and then I went around it again and started embellishing the sides with some more seed beads. And I like the fact that it is asymmetrical, just like the owls are asymmetrical. So I think it really works. It's just different and unique. And my husband said it reminded him of like Egyptian hieroglyphics or something like that. So I thought that was kind of cool too. So yeah, when you've been beading a while, you just never know what you'll come up with randomly as you're playing around and putting things together. And honestly, that's my favorite thing is, you know, kind of sitting down without a specific plan, but just putting things together and seeing how they work out, just the whole trial and error process. It takes a whole lot of time, but I really enjoy it. So that's my little owl bracelet. I did share it on Facebook and Instagram, so some of you I know had already kind of gotten the sneak peek of that. So yeah, those are my 9 finished pieces based on the items from the February Dollar Bead Box, and you can see that I still have all these items here. That includes the bead bag as well, by the way, and it doesn't include that big turquoise skull bead that we had gotten in the box as well. I have that set aside to include in a future giveaway, which I love to do. So I still have lots more beads and things in this box. I didn't even use that elephant guy, but I had 9 finished pieces and I thought, let me go ahead and share them. So like I said, with the couple things that I did use tutorials on, I will definitely link those down below. I hope it was fun and enjoyable and helpful for you guys to see some of the finished pieces that I made with materials that you may have received this month as well. So as always, please feel free to leave me any comments or questions below because I love to hear from you, and I do respond to all of you because it really means a lot to me when you take the time to comment, and it does take a lot of time for me to respond, but as long as I'm able to do that, I definitely make a point to. So for those of you who are newer here, you may not realize, but I am coming up on my very first year anniversary of putting out videos on YouTube, which is hard for me to believe. I've been at this every single week, posting an average of like 3 videos a week, all sorts of things going on here. The growth that I've seen here has been absolutely unexpected to me and amazing, and I couldn't have done it without your viewership, your thoughtful comments, your sharing, your thumbs ups, and all those things. So just know that I really appreciate you. I hope you stick around with me. I do plan on having at least one fun giveaway for my 1-year anniversary. I already have something lined up that I know you guys will be excited about, so definitely stay tuned for that in early March. But before that, I've got lots more tutorials, finished jewelry updates, and more bead unboxings to come. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and as always, happy beading! If you enjoyed this video, I'd love you to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell if you'd like to see more of my videos, and check out the video description section to follow along on all of my social media handles, and check out my new website and blog at orchidandopal.com. Thanks for watching!